I don't know about you, but superhero fatigue has started to set in for me. I'm massively behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., years behind on all the Marvel movies, and I don't think I've ever seen a DC movie in the theater. Even though I know people who have worked on this show, I've never seen Legends of Tomorrow up until last week. Well, I'm almost on the second season, and I must say that I'm hooked. The writing is way better than some of the other CW superhero shows. The cast is perfect, and the balance of comedy and drama is perfect. So this is my streaming pick of the week. This is a new thing I'm trying. Streaming pick of the week. Think you can do better? Then please do. We need more segment producers on this show, so get in touch. Now, go watch Legends of Tomorrow. It's better than you think.
So welcome back to Nerds Drink Whiskey. We are at Sandstone Distillery in Tenino, and John, the master distiller, does that work?
I don't take the credit for that, but whatever. Distiller.
The whiskey guy, is here with us. He's going to give us a tasting from his just the straight-up Sandstone whiskey, and when he tell us a little bit about it.
All righty. This is our barrel release number 3. And it was really kind of fun making this one particularly because the very first whiskey we ever did was relatively young, but we wanted to release something on our very first anniversary. And it tasted pretty darn good. I mean, it sold out, so that's a good sign. And it was really delicious. Well, I took that empty barrel out to Top Rung Brewing out in Lacey. Super great guys out there. They make some wonderful beer. And I took the barrel out and says, to them, would you like to age a beer in this barrel? And because, they were aging beers already, and they were great beers in like old Jim Beam barrels or Wild Turkey. I mean, bourbon barrels, some bourbon finished beer is fabulous, right? Well, they were older barrels. They're about $100 a piece. And here I had this barrel that was freshly dumped. Now, a lot of folks don't know the barrel itself, the wood, will hold liquor like a sponge. So it holds about 5 gallons in that wood, and then it evaporates out. And so I took this thing out to him and says, would you like to? And he says, well, how much you want for the barrel? I says, nothing. Kind of gives you that, like, what do you mean, nothing? What's the catch? It says, when you're done aging the beer, I want the barrel back. And at that point, it's like, oh, God, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. So we did. Now, anybody ever have a Manhattan before? A lot of folks have. And does anybody realize that not all whiskeys make good Manhattans? It's just a fact of life. They have to pair well with the sweet vermouth and the bitters in order to make a good Manhattan. So what we did is we took some of the whiskey with us from that particular barrel, and then we made little cocktails with each of the beers that they have out there at the brewery. And there was 2 of them that were really good. One was a little bit better than the other. So he made this beer. And it was about 5% alcohol content, and it was good, and he puts it in, and it sat there for 9 months at the brewery. And so in that 9-month period of time, that had plenty of time for the beer to commingle with the spirit deep into the pores of the wood and back and forth. When he poured it out 9 months later, it was at 10% alcohol, and it was the best damn beer you've ever had in your life. It was fabulous. And I got 1 growler out of the whole thing because he saved it for me because it sold out so fast. Well, here we got the barrel back, and it was like you could smell the bung, and it was like you could smell the beer. And you could also smell the whiskey was still there. The nuance was still there. So we picked another barrel of whiskey off the rack up here, and we're looking at the rack, and there we're looking at, and so it one that smelled and tasted about what would pair well with that what was left in the barrel. And we dumped it out, and we let it finish for 6 months in the barrel that had the beer that had the whiskey. So now this thing is a full 2 years old. And we're just running out of barrel number 2, ready to do barrel 3, and we're better pour some out to taste it and make sure it was okay. And we proofed some down to 86 proof because that was a magic mark that was on all of our labels, pre-labeled anyway. And it was good, but it wasn't like really great. I wasn't in love with it. And when you guys meet a lot of people out here that do stuff like what we do, and the people that do stuff like we do, we share what we love because we love what we do, and we only want to share what we love, not what we like. And this one was just a like. So we upped the proof to 96 proof on the next sample. And it was like, oh, now we got a whiskey on our hands. This is really starting to taste good. And I looked at my son, Justin, who works with me, and I said, oh, what the hell, let's do it again. So we took it up to 106 proof. And when I had a little sample of that 106 proof, it was as if the heavens opened and choirs of angels came down all around me singing. And that's what this is. It had a very high proof, but you know how you have some 80 proof whiskey sometimes that, they burn past the chest, past the belly button, and you're thinking, no, this is not going to be a good burn tomorrow morning. This one does not do that. It's so high proof that your olfactory senses pick up some of the flavors, and the burn only goes down to about the top of your throat, about your collarbone, and it stays there rather than burning and burning and burning. And it's just so flavorful and so delightful. When you have a sip, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Dun 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 da! Oh wow! I haven't had anybody say, "Where's the Coke?" to go with that one. They just like it by itself. So I'll have that one, and I know some people say ice is a horrible thing, it's of Satan, and other people say it's great. To each person, what's the right way to drink whiskey? How do you like it? That's my answer for it, because my mood changes. Sometimes I like it on the rocks. Sometimes I like it neat. Sometimes I like it in a cocktail. This one I'll have on one of them great big cubes, and it's like having 6 different whiskeys by the time you drink the whole 3 or 4 fingers of it.
The thing with proof on whiskeys, the higher the proof, kind of the more dangerous it is that the bite's going to be a burn. Mm-hmm. You know, it's when you're dealing with proof, it's like there's a reason why so many whiskeys sell at 86 proof. It's the chances of it being a burn as opposed to a bite is a lot less with that 86 proof. So bravo on the bravery of taking it, to keep notching it up until for 106 proof, 106 proof. That very sweet original taste. The mouthfeel, you do kind of start to feel that proof, but the finish was it had a kick to it. It had a kick to it, but we've tasted 96 proof whiskey today that had a less pleasant bite to it. So it's if you really know what you're doing and you have a real passion for what you're doing, you seem to be, and really have studied the subject, you can kick it up on that proof and actually have a better product. And so congratulations, I think you did that.
Appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, it's one of those things. If we have nothing else, we got passion. And the thing is there's any guy with no teeth can make rocket fuel. They really can, but you have to have the rocket science behind the rocket fuel to make something that actually tastes that good.
Cool. All right. Well, so anybody else have any other comments about this?
Oh, when we were getting the tour earlier, you were talking a little bit about the history of this place. Was there something on the wall here that you wanted to tell us about?
It's about a 15-minute deal.
Do you want to make another episode, or?
You guys do whatever you want.
Will it be as entertaining as the last 15-minute episode you did?
Possibly.
All right, we're going to be back next week for a little bit of a history lesson, and because I find this guy very entertaining, and so we're just going to hand the mic to him and let him take over next episode. So see you next week for a little bit of history lesson. Oh, what's that? Oh, yes. Ed here just reminded me we got to give away another Amazon gift certificate, if that's okay.
That's okay. We should
okay. So,
do that.
yeah. So you've watched this episode. This episode is about over. But as a thank you for watching this episode, we're going to give away a $5 Amazon gift certificate. So the person who wins it is the first person who comments on this episode on our Facebook page. However, you have to include a secret word that proves you've watched the episode to actually get the $5 gift certificate. So what's the secret word this week?
Manhattan. And you got to spell it right.
All right. And you can cheat and use Google if you want to. So see you next week for a history lesson and our final episode for this series at Sandstone Distillery.
We're here at Mount St. Helens, and obviously it's tourist season. So we're headed up to the Johnson Ridge Observatory. and we'll see what we can see. Here we are inside the observatory. It's quite informational, educational. They have models and such. On a side note here, they have some cool books like Who Pooped in the Cascades, Scat and Tracks for Kids, and Who's Butt. Here we are. In front of us, you can see Mount St. Helens, and the big wasteland. Ouch. Below. Yes, I hit my knee. You can see the dome in the middle where the lava is still active and it comes up. This whole area, for anybody who doesn't know, and I think everybody probably does know, is the destruction site of Mount St. Helens blowing up in 1988, 86, 80, huh? 80? Oh, okay, 80. Oh, that's right. I was a little kid, but I remember all the ash. So, Mount St. Helens.